Let's make some of the most delicious, gooey, soft, just delicious chocolate chip cookies. Chef's kiss. I'm using unsalted butter here, just chopping it up. I'm going to melt it down real quick. You want to use 2 egg yolks and 1 egg. Separate them in a bowl if you would like. Once the butter is melted, cool it down for a little bit. In one bowl, you will mix all of the sugars and the cooled down butter. You don't need an electric mixer for this recipe, just a spatula works. Mix, 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 not too much, just until it looks like this. And then you can add your egg and some vanilla. Mix, mix, mix. Then you're going to grab a separate bowl. In this bowl, you're going to mix in your dry ingredients, so your flour, your salt, and your baking soda. Make sure you whisk it up so it's all evenly distributed. Now you want to add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients. Use a spatula to mix it all up. Don't overdo it, just mix it until it looks like what I'm showing you right here. And this dough looks perfect, come on. I did this off camera. I used a whole milk chocolate bar and I just chopped it up. That's a very important step. I feel like it adds more flavor than just chocolate chips. Look at that dough, come on. Okay, this cooking spray is crazy. I used my medium scoop to scoop out this cookie dough. Make sure you save some of the bits from your chocolate bar so that you can top it off. This makes all the difference when it's baking. You want to make sure you scoop your dough before you place it in the freezer or the fridge. Cookies that I'm showing you right now are the ones that I let sit overnight in the fridge. But as I will mention, you can also just pop it in the freezer for about 20 minutes. Taste test time. Ooh. That's what I call scrumptious. If you end up trying this recipe, comment below. How did it turn out for you? Was it scrumptious or what? Chef's kiss. I finally figured it out how to make those perfect boneless chocolate chip cookies. Some of the tips that I have is that number 1, I made this recipe non-vegan for the very first time. I usually bake vegan recipes. If you know, you know my brand, Roots to Realms. We make infused vegan treats, right? But I was like, it's just not, you know. So anyways, I tried it non-vegan. And the thing is, I think it's the butter and the eggs and your oven. Those are really important things. The other thing is cooling down your dough. One of the biggest tips is to refrigerate your dough overnight, but if you're too impatient, if you can't wait, like I did, I could pop them in the freezer for like 20 to 30 minutes and then try them that way. It worked out for me, so that works as well. But if you leave them overnight, it's going to be amazing, because what happens is that you don't even have to flatten them. You just put them in the oven at a higher temperature. So I usually bake at 350, but I did 375 degrees, and I just put these on the parchment paper, and it's going to flatten out on its own. And it's basically going to create that like gooey center, which is what you want. I think that's the key thing about refrigerating the dough. The other thing is like getting a chocolate bar that you really like and chopping it up. That really adds like that chocolatey flavor. The butter, making sure that it's melted and allowing the butter to cool down just a little bit before you start stirring in the brown sugar and everything. But these cookies are so bomb. If you try this recipe, let me know how it turns out for you, and if you know what's missing for you. Because one thing is that if you put the oven at 375, make sure to start at a low timer. So I started at 8 minutes because I was like, 375 seems so high. 8 minutes, and then keep adding like 2 minutes. So for me, actually the cookies turned out in 12 minutes. That was perfect. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe.